Welcome back, learners. We're here to talk about banking again because after last week, I thought I knew everything, but it turns out my man Steve knows a lot more about banking, right, Steve?
Well, I'm going to try.
All right, all right.
Um,
What are you going to tell us about this week?
well, today I thought we would talk a little bit about budgeting your money. And budgeting your money, it's basically a balancing act. You have to make sure you've got enough money to buy the things that you want to buy, but you also don't want to not have enough money and go too much into debts and loans like we talked about last week.
All right, fantastic. Any tips for budgeting or any way a bank can help me?
Sure. Well, budgeting is basically it's a skill. It's kind of like cooking a certain dish. If you have a favorite meal that you like to make, you don't start out and make it perfect the first time. You learn a little bit of spice and a little bit of this and a little bit of that makes it the right meal. So budgeting can be kind of the same way. It's really just sort of figuring out how you can balance your money.
All right.
Some tips are writing everything down and just subtracting as you go throughout the month. At the bank, you can get a check register. There's also options online. There's online tools that you can use, and that helps you to kind of keep track of how much money do I have left, so you don't get to the end of the month where you don't have money and need to have more money. So a lot of times, one of the things that I do is I take that little list and I sort of look at how much do I spend for my electric bill?
Mhm.
How much do I spend for my water bill? How much do I spend for my house? How much do I spend on food? How much do I spend on all those things? And that kind of helps me to know here's how much I have that I need to keep, and here's how much I have to spend.
So while my electric bill may go up or down, or my grocery bill may go up or down, if I average it over several months, I've got a rough idea of what I'll spend every month.
Exactly.
All right. So some of our expenses stay the same, like your house payment is the same every month, but others go up and down, and through budgeting, we'll be prepared for that.
Correct. One way to help you with that budgeting is, well, we talked about loans previously. One thing we haven't discussed is credit cards. Credit cards are different from your ATM or your debit card. Credit card is not your money. ATM and debit card are your money. With a credit card, you're borrowing money from the bank. So that's the difference. So you have to pay interest on it. Now, banks don't want you to use their money irresponsibly. They want you to budget. They want you to make sure that you're able to pay back the money. So it's something where that's remember we talked about building credit.
Hmm.
This is a great way to help you build some credit, but you just have to make sure you're responsible with it.
Now, when you say the bank charges me interest, that's just like when I get a loan for a house, there's some interest on it. But with a credit card, they're going to charge me interest on whatever I borrow as well.
Correct.
So if
So it's kind of like having a sack of money with a loan. If you have the sack of money, you take the whole sack of money. With a credit card, you've got a sack of money and you reach in
Mhm.
and you use some and then you put some money back into the sack to pay it back. And then you reach in and use it just whenever you need to, but you've got access to it.
But I'm almost always going to pay back more than I spend. Yes?
Correct. Because it does, well, in some cases. In some
Really?
cases, if you pay that money back before the interest
Hmm.
charges, then you pay back exactly what you borrowed out.
Well, that's great. That's great. That sounds like a really fun way to do it. I've, I've not
Yeah,
always done it that way myself.
it's a tough thing to do sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Any other great tips for us
We,
this
we,
week,
ne- we
Steve?
never know what's going to happen.
No,
Sorry?
no. It's always nice to have it there for an emergency. I asked if you had any other
Exactly. We
tips
never
for
know
us
what's
this.
going to happen.
Any other tips for us this week?
Um, yeah, just take care of yourselves, stay healthy, wash your hands, and stay safe.
Hey, we appreciate that. It's always good to see you, and we'll see you in about a week. I bet you'll have something else to tell us.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Everybody have a great day.
Thanks for dropping by, learners. We'll see you in about a week.